my milk.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an alright day. I know you probably woke up this morning and said, what the heck is going on with the Bitcoin charts and altcoins? Everything is in the crazy deep red today. Well, we're going to talk about that today. Some people are saying it was manipulation. Others are saying, hey, we just needed a healthy pullback. We're going to get into that. You can see over here, CNBC. Fast Money says Bitcoin falls sharply after hours. Well, Bitcoin doesn't actually have after hours. It really trades 24/7 unless you're doing it on CME futures, but nevertheless, we did have a pretty incredible dump. We had a flash crash down to $9,267. We did have a little bit of a bounce back, but we could not get back up to the $10,300 level, which we have been rejected at multiple times. We have talked about the significance of that resistance, but that being said, are you new to crypto? First time? A little bit shocked by this? Well, you're going to get used to it because we've seen Bitcoin have 20%, 30%, 40% flash crashes in the past. However, listen, I am going to be realistic about it. You know, you can see, as pointed out by Yassine over at ARK Invest, the Bitcoin drop was the 5th largest hourly price drop that we have seen in Bitcoin's price history, the only other time being the drop from the December 27 peak. So it was pretty damn scary if you were actually watching that thing drop live, right? It really did kind of feel like we were going to just basically crash down to zero, although that's not the case. But I do want to realistically talk about moving forward. What is going on with Bitcoin? The price, was it manipulation? Some people are saying it was just a healthy retracement. Others saying it was pure manipulation. We're going to go over that today, guys. You know, so if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, we do this every single day. Today is Thursday. Hopefully not Thirsty Thursday for some of you. That is not the answer. Put the bottle down. That is not how we solve our problems. No! But we are going to move on today, and if you're interested in having your name randomly pulled for the ledger drawing, we do that every Monday. If you want to drop a comment, you are eligible. Now, giving this a quick refresh live, Bitcoin dominance did spike up, right? You notice that when we do have these crazy pullbacks, you do see the Bitcoin price going up. Now, having a look at some of the gainers, did we have any gainers today? Kyber Network, now that I believe that was because of the Coinbase announcement. Algorand, Swipe, DX, Waves, Leo. And that's really it, guys. Pretty much everything else in the red today. So, yeah. Oh, and poor Hodlnaut, man. You know, every time he said this was the last time we're ever going to see Bitcoin below 10,000. Right here, it dropped. He said, "That's it. I'm calling it." Dropped again, and finally, yesterday, I'm actually going to go ahead and make a prediction here. We'll never see Bitcoin below 10K. Well, you guys all know what happened. That's why we're not making that prediction here on the channel. Now, before we move on, I just want to ultimately say, zoom out. Just zoom out, guys. You could see that we actually perfectly touched the legacy trend that we've been looking at back here when we had the bottom touch at the December bottom around 3,200. You could see it acted as resistance, resistance, resistance. We finally got above it. And then you could see right here, it started to act a little bit as support, right? And when we came down here, it was slight resistance for the China pump. And then right here, it has currently acted as support again. So we're still actually following the trend. You have to expect these types of pullbacks. And, you know, the saying goes, Bitcoin up like a staircase, down like an escalator, right? Is that what they say? Or down like an elevator? I don't know. Something like that. But that being said, really, having a look right here, the only thing that we did was fall below the rising wedge. You could see right here, let me actually get the Bollinger Bands off here so you guys can see it a little bit clearer. So basically, when we got above it right here, you could see we bounced. It was a little bit of support. We fell back into the channel, and currently we fell below it, and now the bottom is acting as the resistance. Now, we do know that these ascending wedges do often sometimes have dumps, right? So we were expecting a bit of a pullback, but currently now we're just seeing ourselves push up on the bottom support now as the current resistance. Now, I just want to show you some of the levels to keep your eyes on. Behind me is the VPVR. This essentially shows you the highest volume of Bitcoin. So you can kind of look at it as the most demanded levels for Bitcoin, right? So the first being around the 10,153. And then the next we have the $9,300 level, which is essentially where Bitcoin pretty much fell. Now, if we were to fall below that, we have the next big amount of demand around 8,700, followed by 8,100. And then the ultimate kind of do or die level is around the 7.2K. we fall below that, we really don't have too much support, right? So you can sort of use these levels as a template, I guess, to see where the demand for Bitcoin would be. Now, obviously back here, that's where it was accumulated. And then after we have these levels in hindsight, they do tend to become support and resistance. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, what about the Golden Cross? Everybody was shouting and yelling from the rooftops about the Golden Cross. Well, I don't know if you guys watched my video from 2 days ago, but the first time I actually ever spoke about the Golden Cross, I did say to take it with a grain of salt. I said there was one thing that was concerning me, and that was the fact that in previous Golden Crosses, even the one that we just had, we did have pullbacks. In fact, I'm going to show you a clip from that video just to show you guys that I was saying to take this very cautiously. Channel, every news outlet talking about it. One thing I do want to say super quick, I am very excited about this. This is good. You can see we're having the cross right now. However, just keep in mind that we have had fake outs in the past, okay? For example, if we go back here, you can see we did have, we had the bullish, whatever you want to call it, Golden Cross, and then we had a fake out, and actually it was preceded by a dump. And that dump, from top to bottom, if we go to top to the wick, that was around a 36% dump. So just be careful, guys. Oh, look, we also had another one back here in April of 2014. So you could see that I did mention the fact that I was really looking more forward to seeing this 100 move above the 200 like we did back here. And that was full on confirmation. However, even if we just look at what happened the day of the cross, you could see right here, we had the Golden Cross on April 23rd. And then if we look at the peak from the top to the bottom, literally 1 day or 2 days after that, we had an 11% pullback, okay? And these are these sort of counter trades that the smart money, the whales will make, right? And that's exactly why we said to take it with a grain of salt. So I just wanted to point that out moving forward. It wasn't like I was like Golden Cross to the moon. I was actually a little bit cautious about it, right? Now, moving on, we do still have the CME futures gap down at 8,540. So we do have to keep in mind that these gaps do tend to get closed, right? Now, we might still be supported by the 200 daily over here, which is sitting at around 9,110 on the CME futures, but do keep in mind that these gaps do tend to get closed. One more thing I want to point out moving forward is talking about the halving. Everybody's getting excited about the halving hype. Well, I just want to show you what happened the last time that we had the halving. This was on July 9th of 2016. This was the previous halving event that we had for Bitcoin. And you could see that Bitcoin actually had a massive run up starting on May 19th all the way to June 18th. We had almost 80% pump. Bitcoin got all the way up to $783. It started at $436. And then we actually had a massive drop just before the halving. We went sideways through the halving, and then we had another massive drop. So from the time before the halving to the drop after the halving, Bitcoin actually put in, and this is going to be one of those drops we're talking about, a 38% drop. Okay? And these are those big swings that you have to anticipate for Bitcoin moving forward. And here's the other thing. From that peak to the next peak, look how long it took just to get back to the same price. It literally took about 151 days, okay? And if we go from halving to that point, from the halving until the time that we got to the next highest, that was about 131. So we went for over 4 months of downwards, sideways price action before reaching the high, and that was after the Bitcoin halving. So a lot of people tend to think that we're just gonna have the halving and it's just gonna have this massive blast off. That's not the case. History proves that there is a little bit of a run up to the halving, but the halving itself does not always necessarily mean a blast off moonshot, right? You could see multiple pullbacks that we had leading up to the 2017 all-time high. We had 40%, 33, 35, 38, 41, 33, or this was a 37 actually. But my point is, you could see that these 20%, 30%, 40% pullbacks are quite common. And really the only thing that we've seen is what? A 6% after the day was over. So it actually could have been a lot worse than it was. Currently right now we are sitting right at the top of resistance over here on the monthly. Now, if we were to fall back, we could literally fall to the bottom of the trend. And even if Bitcoin was to go down to that 7.1K, $7,000 level that I spoke about earlier, it would theoretically still be bullish and we would still be putting in higher lows on this monthly chart, okay? Just be prepared for that. Are you mentally prepared for that? I am. I'm looking to buy the dip personally. But here's the thing. what about the manipulation aspect? What if this wasn't just the whales taking profits? What if this was manipulation? Well, we've heard the fact that there was 4,000 Bitcoin that was looking to be auctioned off, right? However, if that was auctioned off, it probably was sold OTC, over the counter, wouldn't really affect the price, right? Having a look over here though, I did speak about this in yesterday's video. There was $6 million worth of USDT that was minted at Tether. Now this wasn't backed, right? They were saying that, this is an inventory replenish. They said essentially that they had it there for if it was in high demand. Now, we did have a video yesterday. If you guys followed my the live stream that I did over here with Bitcoin Ben, this was over on his channel. We were talking about the Tether minting, and he essentially called BS on it, and I was a little bit concerned about it as well. As what they were going to do with it, right? Because usually if they print it and they give it to the exchange, that's usually because people want to essentially use it to buy into Bitcoin. But what happens when they're just holding it on reserve? Interesting, right? I'm going to play a clip from this video and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. They just minted another 60 million this morning that they're just keeping on hand in case. So
no, I'm calling BS on that bullshit because I know for a fact Tether does not print and keep on hand.
Oh, Tether. Yeah. Well, what they're saying this time is they're saying, okay, they're saying we don't have 60 million, but we're just keeping the tokens on hand for when the real 60 million comes in. I guess that's what they're saying. And honestly, I didn't know if that was a good or bad thing this time, because, if you think about it, that's almost saying like, well, why would we be demanding Tether? Well, I mean, that's almost like not a good thing in a way, right? I mean, if you're demanding Tether, that means the price is probably falling. So you could see we were both a little bit skeptical, a little bit concerned about why Tether was randomly having this $60 million mint. Now, here's the other interesting thing. At the same time, literally within hours, we have Binance all of a sudden just sort of going on an unannounced maintenance upgrade, right? And then literally a few hours after that, we had the dump. Now, kind of to add to that, you could see Matty Greenspan, he was very upset about this print over here. He said, we should be working towards building a better market, not emulating the failing one. No, really, how is this different from when the Fed injects cash into big banks, to fix short-term lending liquidity? And you can see right here, the issuance took place approximately 1 hour before Binance's platform went down for 6 hours of unscheduled maintenance and followed several days worth of reports noting that Binance was suffering from shortages of stable coins for margin loans. So how is this any different from the fractional reserve lending that we see the banks doing today? This is a problem. This is the thing that we're trying to get away from, right? Also, conveniently, we had Coinbase crashing. As you can see, linked to 1K end of year. This is a pretty incredible call, by the way. Says every time there's a dump, Coinbase crashes every single time. They have to be up to something. Something has to be going on. Guys, it is a pretty crazy market out there. There is a lot of opportunities for manipulation, right? So I want you guys to let me know, do you think this was manipulated? Now, in the same hand, we did see a lot of Bitcoin being sent over to different exchanges. You could see Binance had 1,000 Bitcoin transacted at around 10:06. At around 11:21, we had 47,000 Bitcoin transferred from unknown wallets. We had 1,000 transferred to OKX at around 4:06 a.m. So the question is, were the whales just saying, hey guys, price was getting high. We had the double top. 10.3 was really acting as resistance and we just want to take some profits? Or do you actually think that it was manipulation like we had spoke about? Drop your comment below, let me know. But, that being said, it's not uncommon to see these massive sort of dips, right? And before we go, obviously, we've been talking about the Ethereum price. I did say that, we did have the opportunity to go back down to about the $240 level. We didn't get to that down to that level, but the Bitcoin price obviously did have a little bit of an impact on Ethereum. Ethereum is looking like it had a little bit of a bounce back, but we are still trending downwards on the Bitcoin. Well, actually, are we trending downwards? Yeah, we're kind of still trending a little bit down on Bitcoin as well. So we do have room to go lower. And like I said, moving on, there is that potential, where's my chart, right here, to still be inside of this wedge, looking for the apex at around the beginning of July. And, we could see Bitcoin go down to 7K, potentially, 7.3K next month, and it would still be putting in higher lows on the macro chart. So just kind of wanted to talk about everything today. I know there's a lot of new people in the space that could be a little bit freaked out. Also, that being said, speaking about Ethereum, I do have Crypto Lark. I'm going to be having him on the channel. So if you guys have any questions, drop them below. We're going to be talking about Ethereum, DeFi, and why he's so bullish. That being said, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. Also, we do these updates basically every single day, and we do have a free Telegram group if you want to join. We do have the information below, and all the things that I talked about in today's video will also be below in the description. Thank you so much again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. We do give away a Ledger Nano S hardware wallet every single Monday. If you're interested, drop a comment below. That's it for me today, guys. I freaking love you. Thank you for coming back again to the channel. Please be safe out there. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.